Hello, hello, hello. Give everyone a little minute to get in here and see what's going on. Michelle, take that upstairs. Take it up. Yeah, it's fine. Just don't make a mess. My man Debo, what it do? John, what's up, bro? Hello, hello. Hope everyone had a great day. Everyone's doing well. What up, bro? I hope everyone's healthy. They're happy. Their families are healthy. Their families are happy. And that everything is going well. Just waiting for our guest to log in. And then we can get started. See if we can get a couple more people in here and do what we do. Just have some conversation and just boom, see what we got. What's going on? What's going on? Yes. But I hope everyone's got something positive going on too. We take too many days looking at being negative and having negativity take over. I hope everyone's doing something positive with their time, something great, doing something to be better than yesterday. Appreciate that, bro. Much love. This episode I think is gonna be just as good, just as good. We're looking to build and do better, and be better each week and add on some new stuff, some new layers. So we trying, man. We trying to get somewhere with this. Appreciate your ongoing support. We got to get you on here too. I'm gonna make it happen. Going to make it happen for sure. Gonna make it happen. We got to. We all we got. We are all we got. All right. So I'm gonna say, as our guest for tonight has entered the room, this sister here is a member of the MVORE family. She is a singer. She is a poet. She is a podcaster in her own right. She is a friend. She is a sister. And most importantly, she is a kind-hearted person. And I'm going to get her in the room.
Hey,
There you are. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I can't complain. Does the body no good? How about you?
Same. Same.
Been a busy week for you. I popped in on Talk About It Tuesday with Sammy. Then last night you was on Urban Updates.
Yeah.
Now you here tonight and then
Totally
to
unplanned on Tuesday, by the way.
it was a last minute thing.
Um, I saw Sammy B's post about celebrating 11 years for her dad, and it was 11 years for my mom on the same day.
Wow.
So I was just like, she was like, if you're not doing anything tonight, I'm going to be on IG Live. I would love to have you. And my forgetful behind was like, all right, let me set an alarm because I'm going to forget. But I went and I was so glad I went.
Yeah, oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Like, I was kind of like in and out doing a bunch of stuff, but I be trying to support anybody who
Oh,
does
I
anything.
know. That's what you do. That
Anybody.
is what you do.
Anybody who's anything, which, and you've returned that, you and the MVORE family. I feel like I have a bond with the whole family. You particular, because we go back. You know,
Way back.
we go back before we even knew we went back.
Facts.
You know, and it's good. This is gonna be a good interview. Like I said, I showed last week. And listen, you are so talented. Look at your list. It took the whole page. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get to it all, but if not, some stuff will have to get highlighted, and maybe you'll have to come back.
Right. A
But we at least I at
part
least
two.
want to, yeah, part two, like because we got a lot. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, and
All right.
so you're originally from Newburgh,
Yes.
you
Newburgh,
know,
New York. 8 foot 5. Stand up.
you know. What were some of the experiences you had growing up in Newburgh, whether they were good or bad?
Um, I I had a very hood upbringing. Let's put it that way. Um, I came from what I thought was the gutterest of the gutter of Newburgh. I grew up on the south side of Newburgh, and I say that because like other people from other cities, and whether it's Chicago or Atlanta or whatever the case, they be like, "Oh yeah, I grew up on the west side and this is that." And I'm like, I didn't have that growing up, but the only reason I know I grew up on the south side is because I went to South Junior High. So I was
Okay.
just like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna call that the South Side because North High is on the other side of town, and I'm on this side of town with South High. So I'm gonna say I grew up on the South Side of Newburgh, but I grew up on William Street, Bencard, like you name that part of that side of the hood, and that's where I grew up. Very ghetto upbringing, but the most creative people are in the hood. So
Of course.
I'll I'll take it. I'll take all the good times, bad times, and in between, and I wear it as a badge of honor because all of that made me who I am today.
Okay. And that's real good that you were able to take whatever, take not whatever, but take that and bring it into your life. And I can see that with just some of the work you do, which brings me up growing up, where did the love for poetry come from? Because a lot of times people who, you know, are poets or even artists of their own right, they usually have a story to tell. So I'm just curious, where did that love come from?
Uh, both my parents were involved in the arts. I can say my mom was one of those 90s Renaissance women. We grew up on a lot of black culture, black movies. Like when I'm in discussion game talking about stuff and everybody says, Niecy's being racy. I promise you I am because this is how I was raised. Like, I don't know all the white stuff. Like, I didn't grow up watching or like don't get me wrong, of course we had 90s, we had Family Matters and Full House, but
Hmm.
in my house it was Family Matters and Full House because it was on the same day.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was Martin, Fresh Prince, it was all the black shows. I even watched The Parenthood in the house, like
Oh,
some
oh
not
yeah.
so known show. Living Single, I grew up on that. Like I grew up on so much black excellence and black culture. So my parents cultivated that very early on. On Saturdays when we weren't in school, we'd be watching the History Channel. I hated it. My mom was very much like history buff knowledge kind of person, like, oh, I know you're not in school learning, but you're gonna be learning when it's the weekend. We grew up on Gullah Gullah Island,
Oh,
like
oh
little
yeah.
stuff like that, like all the black stuff.
Absolutely.
So when I say that I know all the black stuff, it's because I know all the black stuff. And it's crazy how the rest of the country still hasn't caught up to knowing that black history is American history. But that's where my creative form comes from. My parents made sure that we watched all the Spike Lee movies, that we watched all the black movies. Like I grew up on Crooklyn. I grew up
Oh
on
yes.
Meteor Man. Like I grew up on Blank Man before there was a Superman, before there was a Black Panther. Before there was a Black Panther,
Oh
like
yeah.
R.I.P. to Chadwick, love the Black Panther. I grew up on Meteor Man,
Oh
okay? I grew up on
Man.
Blank Man, okay? Those were my black superheroes. And they ain't had extra super special powers, but they did what they were supposed to because my mom made sure that each of us knew not just about our culture, but we saw a lot of representation when we were growing up. So I kind of tapped into this yesterday with Jag, but Love Jones, growing up on stuff that I wasn't even supposed to
Yeah.
see. Like I'm watching Love Jones with my mom because I got a young mom. So my mom had me at 18. So my mom's 21 and she got all three of us already because that's the night. By 22, my mom had all three of her kids already. By
Wow.
22, she had a 2-year old and a newborn. Okay.
Oh man.
So I'm a little kid watching Love Jones, watching all types of TV shows, but I thought it was the coolest thing. And I'm like, what is that they're doing? Like they're doing performance poetry. And my mom was like, yeah, it's sort of like Def Poetry Jam and Def Comedy Jam and all the stuff that we watch, all that other stuff. So I was just like, my mom was also a singer and my dad was in a band. So naturally I have music in me, but my mom was about everything black excellence. So if you hear me being racy and me saying I don't know who that is, like when people start talking about the different Kates and the different Jennifers, and I'm like
Yeah.
Hudson, Lawrence, I don't know which one it is, but when I see her, I know who you're talking
Right.
about. But the blacks, I know my brain is full of more black people than the white people. No shade to them, but you know that's just how I was brought up.
But you know what? And like I'm like that with music a lot. Like I'll be like, oh, like I'm so into like hip hop R&B. Like
Yep.
there's certain songs, rock artists I know, certain artists who aren't black, like Linkin Park, for example,
Yes.
but they're more like alternative, so it's so, and then it's just like you'll hear a song and you'll be like, oh, I like that song. I don't know who it is, but I know I like the song, unless it's
Right.
someone like Kiss or Aerosmith or Metallica, something you can really just spot out, But if it ain't
Don't
that,
get me to lying. Don't get me to lying, Mike, because I promise you, they could play a song. I can know all the lyrics and everything and not tell you who that artist is because I don't know. But like, I do, like, I appreciate all genres of music, even the ones I don't like. But like, the genres of like rock and pop and bluegrass. I don't like bluegrass, but I like country. But I appreciate all the genres of music. So when it comes to black music, I'm that person. I don't even listen to that much rap. Like, if you could believe that, I don't listen to that much rap. I really don't. Like, go through my playlist, and I think maybe 3 rappers is on there: J. Cole, Naj Murph, Drake. That's it. Not that I don't like other rappers, just saying that I don't listen to a lot of hip hop. I don't listen to a lot of rap music. I love hip hop though,
yeah,
but I know I can name the black artists because
right,
I gotta know. If it's black, I'm interested. For a long time, I didn't even read literature that wasn't written by black authors. Like
wow.
dead ass. I can't remember the last book I read that wasn't a person of color. I really can't because I support all things black first and then POCs, then everybody else.
But you know what? That's it. My favorite white artist is probably Phil Collins. Debo, that ain't even a bad pick,
I know
bro.
him.
That that ain't even a bad pick, bro. Phil Collins is that dude.
Just like Michael McDonald ain't really white, and
And Casey,
John
what
B.
up?
John B. don't count, and
No,
Robin Thicke don't count, and
and I don't care.
they say Eminem don't count, but again, not really heavy into rap, so I can't have an opinion on that. But yeah, like John B. don't count, Robin Thicke don't count,
No,
Michael McDonald don't count.
no, they're
Phil Collins kind of count, but we if we listen to your music, then it's like you don't really count towards
appreciate
that don't really
you,
count.
bro. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, we gotta always pay homage and pay the respect due to our people and to who we are, you know, and
Right.
that's the beauty of just, I love being black. Like I love it. It's something that I'm unapologetic about, and we,
Me,
we
me
shouldn't
too.
and we shouldn't be apologetic about it. Like we have to. we have to support it and have to live it. And I think that you do a great job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which but you started poetry. So I
Yes.
would like to know what's some of your favorite pieces you've written, and
Mhm.
how did that turn into eventually becoming a spoken word artist? And before you answer that,
Okay.
I have got to say, if y'all never heard her speak, the first, and we're gonna get into this a little later because there's a big MVORE section in this interview, but the first interview I went to, or not interview, the first MVORE event I went to, what that I can remember is the poetry where you guys took other people's poems. It was last year in
Oh, the
March, I believe.
the black poet expedition
Yes.
exhibition. I always mess that up. I'm sorry. The Black Poets
If
Exhibition.
y'all ain't never heard this sister speak, even if it ain't hers, she go, "Hey Danielle," she gonna make it her own. So now I'm
Thank
gonna let you
you.
answer the question. I just had to put that out there.
Thank you. Can you repeat the question real quick? I'm
I no,
sorry.
no, it's fine. I said some of your favorite pieces that you've written, and how did you transition that into becoming a spoken word artist?
Okay. So some of my favorite pieces that I've written. I always show love to my first piece, which was called my very first spoken word piece was called Messed Up or Effed Up. Um, I would say another one of my favorites would have to be Little Black Girl. Um, Oh, my black is beautiful. There was a season in my life I was performing all these black poems. Like, bro, I had to get away from it for a little while because I was sick of myself at that point. I'm like, yo, like, all right, DC, we get it. You're black power.
What
Like,
up
but little
next?
black girl for sure. My black is beautiful because that was one of the first poems I performed when became a spoken word artist. So I had written spoken word pieces, but I hadn't performed for years until later. So I would say my black is beautiful, and I speak Spanish in that poem, so I love that poem as well.
Okay.
Very, very people. It throws people off because I'm not fluent in Spanish at all. I'm very conversational in the sense that I could probably say some things, and I used to use it a lot for my work when I was working at the bank. So for me, I was like, I want to write about all the insecurities of Black women and my experience in
Hey, babe.
learning that my black is beautiful. So, hey, Jackie. Um, so yeah, those are some of my favorite pieces. Of course, I have a few uh erotic pieces that are really good. I say Triggers because Triggers was one of the poems that I wrote about a situation with a guy I was dealing with. But the thing that I love most about that poem was the fact that it was called Triggers, but it had a lot of references about Trey Songz in it. And I
Okay.
used a lot of his song titles to put that poem out there. So I really like, and particularly like there's a line in there. My cousin gets on me for this all the time, but the line was, I remember the night where I was the pages and you were the pen writing love songs all over my body all night long. And I remember that being the line.
Oof.
Like that was the line that was
Damn, that's
like,
deep.
ooh,
That's
I
deep.
remember that.
Dude, you was like Lil Wayne right there. Oh, I said that.
I said that was good. So I find myself having those little moments where it's like I throw some lines out there and I'm like, those are the things that stay in my memory. So yeah, I would say those are some of my top pieces. But I have so many pieces because for a while I was the artist that only wanted to perform new material. That was
Thank you.
like
Thank
my
you.
thank you. That was like my shtick. That was my thing. Like people would be like, "Ooh, can you do the one where?" I'm like, "No. Every set is gonna be a new poem. Every set is gonna be something I'm feeling right now. So whatever I'm performing is what I'm feeling." And for a good amount of years, that was working. And now that I'm here where I am, I'm like, I'm glad I did that because now I have pieces that I can go back and reference again and re-perform. So, yeah,
Yeah,
got a lot of
definitely.
work.
Nah, but you've been doing it, and you've been putting it together, and you understand your craft. You know, and part of your craft coming into poetry has also been, to an extent, your faith in God. And I know you're a church woman. Now we gonna get a little deep here, a little backstory, because you
Okay,
used
church
to
woman. I've never
you
been
told
called that before.
you told me, listen, you pridefully told me your schedule, and you make sure church is at the forefront of that
That's
schedule.
right.
You
My
know,
faith is important. It's so important.
and I remember you and I were having a conversation one day, and you were like, Mike, I can't really sing. And then I'm like, but I got a voice, but I don't really go like that. So then I go to the MVORE like album preview party, listening party, one of the dopest things I seen, right? And then I'm like this. She got up there, and and then I'm like, oh, so she was lying, because you got Jazzy up there. Jazzy does her thing. Y'all know how Ralph gets down. He's a perfectionist in every aspect of what he does. And she said, sis can sing. Exactly. So then
Oh
Niecy's
my
up there and
god.
everything. She had a couple solo parts. And then I was just like, she was lying to me this whole time. And then, she was lying. So,
That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
okay, that may not be what happened. That may be a little bit of my rendition of how I felt it happened.
Oh
But
my god.
a lot of the facts, a lot of the statements I said, there are some truth in there. Maybe a little exaggerated, but I'm just saying.
I don't proclaim to be Beyonce. That's not me. I always tell people I can sing lead. I've been singing my whole life. I've been singing since I was 3. Like, let my mama tell it, since I was 3. Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, all the things. And growing up, that was my thing before poetry was my thing. I used to do, they'd be like, oh, like nobody knew who Niecy was, but they'd be like, oh, you mean the girl that does all the talent shows? That's always what I did in junior high and elementary school. I did all district, all county. The only reason I didn't do all state, because again, we grew up a little bit poor,
Yeah,
so we couldn't afford to do
right.
everything. But I did all district, I did all county, I've done choruses, I've done choirs, and singing has just always been the thing. And then once I tapped into poetry, it was like that gave me an opportunity to escape the forefront, because I end up in places in groups, and then the groups never survive with me in it. And I always thought it was because of my talent, but it's because I just don't belong in a group. And I learned that very early on in life. So what I love most about what I do with MVORE singing wise is MVORE is a bunch of independent artists that come together as a collective. So in a sense, I'm a part of a group, but I'm a part of a collective group. So we all do our own thing, and sometimes we do that together. So it gives me the opportunity to do my music together with other people without the functionality of being a girl group or the band or that kind of thing. And I never say I can't sing. I always just say I do a little something.
Okay,
Yeah, a little
okay,
something.
fair
I do a
enough.
little something.
Well, I think the other thing with MVORE that makes it different than a group is, now I know you're a power watcher.
Yeah.
I don't know if, did you watch Raising Canaan this season?
Yes, I did.
Now, okay, I just, hopefully there's no spoilers for anyone, but do
Right.
you see how
I haven't started
Jukebox?
BMF yet. I haven't started BMF, but I did watch Raising Canaan.
Oh yeah, all right, cool, cool. You see Jukebox started. What's up, Trippy? Don't you do it? Don't you do it
He
either,
did it
Trip.
yesterday. He did it
Don't you do it.
yesterday.
I'm ready
He,
for it. Don't you
as
do
soon
it.
as he came in the room, just
Yeah, yeah. The one day I was on my sports show, and he was just he did it and I didn't see it, and then he wrote Mike in capital letters and did it. And when he wrote Mike, I seen it, and I was just like, ah. And
yeah,
then my co-host was like, yo, he got me too. I said, he gets everybody.
done. He does. He got me yesterday. I'm sitting there like we in the flow of it, and I see right in the comments. I'm like, damn it, Trippy. But I just didn't acknowledge it. But I know he's gonna get me in person too. So
It's all
it doesn't
right.
even matter if you catch it or
I
not.
got
Like
I
he's
got
gonna
him at
get you in
Tasha's
person.
birthday party. It may be once, but I got him. If I go to the Beyonce concert on the day I was born, does it make it my B day?
Trippy. Good night. Take a nap.
Good
Take
night.
a nap. Take a nap.
So, so the point I was making was she came together as a girl group with two other girls she didn't know.
Yes.
With
And she still
Mavor,
ended up right out in the front. Like,
right, until she didn't. But
yeah.
but then the difference is between that and what you have is you guys are all friends.
Yes.
Like when you come together and when you're all together, all I don't know, 20 of you, maybe. I don't know. I've never counted. Like I hate when I gotta tag
Sure.
everyone. I type it in and it's like, dang. I just wish I could just and then I know
Listen,
I
I'm
missed
finally
one.
at a space where I know who all the Mavors are, okay? Like, there was a point where I'd be like, to be honest, there's so many of us, I don't even know all of us. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, Nick, it's a movement.
yes,
Exactly. So
for
I think
sure.
when you build the friendship that's gone for
Right.
years and you
Right.
see what you have become, it's a lot easier to work together. And you know what Mr. Ralph expects. You
That's
know
right.
what he's gonna do. And you know if it's anything less than perfect, it ain't getting recorded, it ain't getting filmed, it ain't getting aired, it ain't gonna be nowhere. So I don't think that there's pressure, but there's expectation. And it
Let me
helps you
tell
meet.
you something. It's the expectation, the bar is set really high. I will give you that. But everything that we do in Mavor is on the job training. I can tell you that. Even things you know how they say in the memes, like, if you don't know what you're doing, do it scared. Do
Yeah.
it scared. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Do it. Just do it. And that's how we do it. Like everything that we do is on the job training in the sense that some of the things we're learning as we go and we practice makes perfect. So we don't strive for the level of perfection, but there's this level of excellence that is required of all of us. And it holds us accountable. Like when I was younger, I used to hate it because I'm like, I just want to do my own thing. But now as an adult, I appreciate it. So as a collective, we all have the same mindset
Hmm.
to come together and do the level of what is expected of Mavor. So Mavors, like Dev always says, like Nick said on the screen, you can't be a Mavor and be a one trick pony. That's kind of one of our sub mottos. Like
Well,
you could do one thing when you start Mavor, but when you later in life, you're not gonna not progress with us. You're gonna end up doing something else as well. And we're gonna start pulling out those talents that you didn't even know were there, kind of thing. So and we're gonna use everything in our arsenal as well.
and the
So
thing is, and once again, this is a little later, but everyone has a different talent,
yeah,
and it is all utilized in everything that you do. You
yeah,
leave no Mavor left out,
right,
and that's what's important is to how to capitalize on on everyone's strengths,
yeah,
incorporate those strengths, and maybe takes if someone's got a weakness somewhere, it can become, hey Ursula, it can become a strength as well.
right.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you guys are doing. But before I and but we're gonna get to Mavor a little later still.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but
My
I
bad.
gotta know. No, it's good because it's crossing over together, getting an understanding of how things are going. But I want to know who are some of your inspirations as far as singing and poetry go.
Oh my God. My influences come from everywhere because when you're a creative, I feel like the same way that Mavor uses everything, I feel like that's why we all work because we all use everything. Like me,
What up,
I could get a
Bebop?
hey. Ironically, I'm representing today. I'm representing
Okay,
today.
there we go.
Yesterday was a Mavor shirt. I started to wear a DG shirt, but I felt like I'm gonna do that for the rest of the season. But I felt like today was a UB kind of day, so just throwing a black shirt. Honestly, I just needed something to match my hair wrap because I got
I
my hair all tied up for tomorrow. So tomorrow's show is gonna be crazy. I know we're gonna get into that, but
of course.
my influences musically would have to be like Brandy, for sure, Brandy. The vocal Bible, you can't not have her in there. Um, who influences me to write the way I want to write. I know this is probably gonna sound corny, but like Ralph and Jazz, they
Nothing corny
like.
about it.
I feel like because I feel like when you name people, it's like people like, oh, shameless plug, but I'm like, no, like Ralph and Jazz. Not only have they been my friends for a number of years, but they're like my siblings. Like Jazz is my best friend, and she's like a sister to me. Like that my sisters consider them her sister as well. Their sisters as well. But
Yeah.
Ralph is like my brother. And they both encourage me and motivate me to write what I feel. When I do music, like I forget like the stuff in my arsenal of talents when it
Manny.
comes to music. Hey Manny. They remind me often. Like I'll run ideas past Jazz. I'll run ideas past Ralph, and we put it together and make it. It just it's the Mavor magic. It's like it just
It's
happens.
real.
So, it's real. Like
It's
we're
real.
creative, and when you get in a room with other creatives, the magic just happens. So, um, if I could just segue just a little bit off subject for a
Oh,
second,
go ahead.
um, talking about singing again. It's like I know that I'm a singer, but it wasn't until we were putting together all our um stuff for the Mavor website and all this other stuff that Ralph reminded, like he put in my bio, like he edited it. I forgot about it. He put singer, songwriter. Girl, we don't forget nothing around here. I'm like, I guess I'm a songwriter. He said, all them songs we used to write in your living room. I'm like, you right. I am a song. I forgot. Um, and because I've really recently been tapping back into music since we've been working on our album, but tapping back into songwriting as well. And since Bebon says that he wants to be an influence, I wrote his theme song for his network.
Okay.
Getting back into writing, I wrote a song on my album, on the Mavor album. I'm working on some more songs for an EP of my own,
Okay.
but tapping back into songwriting has been so much fun because it makes me feel like the teenage me. And I used to just write and write and write and write and write. Sometimes poetry, sometimes music, but I'd let the inspiration come. So I would definitely have to say my influences, my two biggest influences would have to be Ralph and Jazz. And of course, nothing happens without my sisters. They hate me so much sometimes, but I run everything by them, and I'm like, do you think this sounds stupid? Do you think this sounds corny? Do you think I should change this up? Or I got this line, should I do it this way or this way? Like they're very much my sisters love to tell me I'm on midget management before I'm on Mavor Entertainment. It's been a thing since we were kids. They're like,
Oh my God.
when you blow up, you're under our management, and then everybody else comes after that.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they're my biggest influences musically. Poetry wise, of course, Langston Hughes. Just for writer's sake, Zora Neale Hurston, Maya Angelou. Um, I forgot the lady who I did the poem for the poet exhibition. It'll come to me, but her too. There's just so much influences that I have to study when I do certain performances. So yeah, I would say those are my biggest influences.
Well, I can feel that, and which is a good segue because this next topic I was not sure if I wanted to put in here just due to my own personal feeling on
Uh,
it, but I felt we'd be renowned if we did not talk about Murph. Uh,
ah,
yeah,
oh my God. I can always talk about Murph
you
though. You
know,
already know that. Right.
um, you know, um,
Water, nosy.
I
I
gotta
only
say,
drink when I'm on discussion gang, okay? Because I need a drink to deal with you. Okay? Sorry, we just had a
Bebop.
Martin Pam. I'm sorry,
That's all
because
good.
that's what
Just
you call
hey,
us, right?
yeah, Martin and Pam. But yo,
He
Bebon,
has to be disruptive at every turn. And when you were interviewing Danielle, and you said, and to the viewers, it really feels like they hate each other. And I put in the comments like we do actually, like we're snapping on each other, and that comes from a real place. He gets on my damn nerves. He do, and I feel in a sense like when your auntie drop off one of your cousins and you don't want to play with them, and I'm like, come on, why are you bringing man over here? I don't want to deal with him. It feels like that. It feels like that all the time. Like somebody is forever dropping him off in my life, and I'm like, why you bring
of
him? Like,
all people, you gotta bring
right,
him.
right. I'm just out here trying to live. Okay, I'm trying to do this little interview, do some promo for my event that's happening tomorrow. Can I live with
You
my
know,
wallet?
you know. Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
gotta know.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Good time in Bebon to come in and flow it up.
Right?
So you know, we
We were about to
wouldn't.
talk about Murph, right?
Yeah, that's where we were. You
Okay.
know, so I would, I'd be renowned if we didn't discuss him at least in some form or fashion. But I
Yeah.
have to know what did he mean to you?
Oh my God.
I know it's
Um,
an open-ended question.
it is, and it's gonna sound worse than what it actually is, but the only words that I can think of is you remember in the movie Brown Sugar
Hmm.
when he said you are the perfect verse over a tight
Yeah,
beat. That's what he meant to me. Like, not we're not getting into when they decided when they got older that they were always in love. I'm talking about the friendship.
yeah.
Like the level of male female friendship that they say doesn't exist.
Oh, it
I
exists.
had that remember.
It
It
exists.
exists, and the love and like 20 years growing up seeing each other through stuff like he was everything. He was sugar, cheese, and bacon. Like he makes
Oh
everything
gosh,
better.
that
He made
video
everything better.
that video
So
Mimi posted, and she's
yes,
like, "What?"
he he was. I'm telling you, he was cheese, bacon, all the things. He was all the things. He made everything better. And I will say like when I talk about him, it doesn't make me sad. Like when other people are like, oh, they're talking about Murph, let's get away. I'm like, it doesn't get sad for me. Like, because if anybody knows him, they know he was a goofball. Like, in some days when I'm sitting in my kitchen, I can still see him laid across my couch while I'm doing whatever I'm doing in my kitchen, like watching Power on Sundays after church. We went to church, he played the drums,
Hmm.
and then he'd be like, all right, what you doing after church? I'm like, bro, you were just at my house. Yeah. We called him Hakeem in my house. Okay. He
The
was Hakeem.
leadership.
He was coming over unannounced, eating up all my food all the time. Even before my mom passed and I had my own place, Murph was always welcome to come, even when we weren't like in a space where we were felt pride in our
Yeah.
home. Like I told you, I grew up in the hood, so I'm growing up around roaches and mice, and we're not having company because we're ashamed of that. And Murph didn't care.
He
Murph
could
was the
care
type of dude
less.
who would come sit on the porch with us. Like, I'm not letting people in the house. All right, we can sit outside and play Uno like until 2 o'clock in the morning. He was that type of dude, like just dope kind of friend. And he was my other, I would say definitely one of my other inspirations would be him musically and poetically, because he would run lyrics by me. I would run lyrics by him. I would run poetry by him. He would run performance choices by me. I would tell him, no, you should probably swap out this one for this one. Like, when you perform, you need to practice performing so you don't run out of breath. Like, he didn't realize the connection between singing and rapping. And you know how like rappers start jumping around, they get sweaty and they get
Hmm.
all out of breath. I would teach him breathing exercises because he didn't think that was important as a rapper.
Oh, it's an
But I was
important.
like, let me tell you something that's important. You got to have breathing exercises so that you can sustain your entire performance without getting mad tired. So yeah, he was everything. And I know that his spirit continues to live on with me and so many others. Shout out to Miss Lisa and Meek Mill, my girl Meeks Mill. Um, love them both dearly, and so glad to have shared space with them um, concerning Murph. So, yeah.
Oh, that's deep. I want to know how your friendship started.
Ah, Lake Street. I won't get into the backstory of how I ended up at Lake Street, knowing I never lived there, but
Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
childhood trauma. But I was pretty much in a place I wasn't supposed to be, and not on my own volition. I was brought there. Um, and me and my sisters were hanging out on Lake Street with our guardian who brought us up there, and we should have been up there. But we're up there. We met Naj and Tamika during that time, and then we got found out that we were going up there, so then we had to stop going there, and we found out that they went to Gidney with us. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we was all in the same school. Then we find out years later we start going to church. We're going to the same church, so I'm like, it felt like the friendship that I was meant to have with Najee. I couldn't get away from it. Like,
It was just destiny.
right, I'm talking like when I first met him in Lake Street, I'm like, Najee, get away from me, please. Like, and he was just goofy and just up in your face with it. I'm like, please get away from me. Like, I just wanted to be away from him. Then I saw him at school. He's like, hey, I know you. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I was trying to get away from him. And then it wasn't so much high school because he's only a year behind me. But in church, it was like once we got to church together, that was it. He was in the boys' youth group. I was in the girls' youth group. He was in the choir. I was in the choir. We had a praise dance group, but we never had boys that wanted to do it until Najee, Dave McFadgen, there was a few other boys. And then they started their own praise dance group, and we all was like competing for who was gonna dance in front at the Memorial Day parade. It was just the whole thing. So yeah, our friendship started at Lake Street and carried on through elementary into our church family relationship. So yeah, he was a really big part of my life, whether I wanted him here or not.
Wow. Wow, that's wild. Eh, So I'm gonna say one of my favorite pieces of yours, and
Uh,
you
is the
and
Najmer
you
poem?
you said it wasn't your best work.
It
I
wasn't.
I failed to believe that. I tried to find it, and I mean I was cyber stalking your pages trying to locate
It's
this
on
video.
there.
I just, you know what? There's so many posts. I could have
I'll
overlooked it very easily.
find it and I'll send it to you because I have it. I have it. It's on my page, but I
It's
also have it
somewhere.
downloaded.
So, because I think for what it is the connection to that final project before his unfortunate time came. You were able to so vividly put that together, and you said you had a deadline. You had deadlines to hit and things of that nature to get it
Right.
done. And it's something that's real touching, something that people really, who loved him needed to hear. Which brings me to now, what does his legacy mean to you, and how does his death empower you? Good night,
Wow.
Bevon.
Forget you, Marty Mouse. Anyway, um, his okay. You said how did his? Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Nope, you're fine. What does his legacy mean to you,
hmm
and how does his death empower you? What up, Rich?
Okay. So sorry, I found the poem, so I sent that to you. You can see
Appreciate it.
that at your leisure. His legacy means to me that any little nugget, like he was always that person that like always instilled stuff in people. Like you could just be hanging out, listening to music, watching TV, and he just always had something like just a little gem to share or a little nugget or a piece of advice or an analogy. He very much this is probably giving him way too much credit that he would want, but he gave me like Jesus vibes in the sense that like he went everywhere around everybody. and instilled stuff in them. So he had that quality about him. Like he could be around anyone and that would make he would make a connection with people that would last. So his legacy to me means just that connection, that creativity, and the good advice that he would give. What does the impact his death had on me? Is that the second part of the question?
How does his death empower you?
Empower me. Um, his death definitely made me feel uncomfortable, and outside of that uncomfort, he made me very much extroverted more than I normally am. I am not a I'm very friendly. I'm very social. I love doing stuff outside of my house. But there was a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want people in my space. Like what? Now I'm making friends with people in my 30s. Like, what am I doing? Like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah,
I'm making friends like some more. I thought I was just gonna keep the same group of friends that I had, but with him, it made me the uncomfort of his absence made me find connection in other people that he was connected to. So like I wasn't seeking those people, but it just some connection started happening, like
yes.
reconnecting with you and not knowing how many times our paths crossed. And then Jill, and then Drika, and then Mikhail. I went to elementary school with Mikhail too.
Oh,
Like me
yeah,
and Mikhail used to sit on the bus together listening to Usher with the broken headphones. We loved telling that story because she was the first person I knew with albinism ever in life. And I met her in elementary school. And my mom educated me on that. Like she's still black and she just looks a little, my mom always had a perfect way of describing people who I thought were different to me. And so because of that, I just embrace people from all different walks of life and the people that people wouldn't normally talk to. I'm the person that's going to talk to them because my mom made me that way.
yeah,
But yeah, because of those connections that he had with those people, him now being gone empowers us to keep connection with one another. And I never would have thought in a million years I would be able to say that I love all these people that I didn't even know. But
yeah,
now I can say that I do because our one common factor is him. And he was such a light. Even Sammy B, like I've seen Sammy B before, but it wasn't until I saw her. She was at Murph's ugly sweater birthday party and she was performing and she was so dope. And he asked her to perform. I think he met her like once. Same
yeah,
thing with Edna. He had met Edna one more time than me, and he was like, "Yo, she's mad dope. What's her name? I gotta know who she is so I can talk." Like
yeah.
he called her name and everything. He acted a fool, but I feel like because of that, because of the loss of him, made me gain so much other stuff. So I feel empowered by his death to make connections with people while I have the opportunity and to do everything that I love, no matter what, unapologetically. So if people say I'm too black, and I'm not talking my skin color, like, but the way that I talk, like I talk about black shit
Let it
a lot.
happen. Be
That's what
you.
I do.
Be
You're
you.
not gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna always talk about black
And
topics. That's just what I do.
and that's just what it is. You know, for him, he was definitely one of a kind. He was definitely a beam, and someone who's known him since about fifth grade. It slapped in the face. It definitely hurt, you know. And like you said, he was a ray of light. One thing I've not told many people was, you know, the year when he died, something on January 5th, 2020 told me to call him. Don't know what it was. I got busy and I did not call him. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it was God's way of saying he knew what he was about to do and he knew I wasn't going to like it. And maybe that was his way of saying you need to have that conversation before I do what I'm about to do. But be that as it may, you know, one of Nas's favorite rappers was Jay-Z.
Yep.
He loved him some Hove. One of my favorite songs, what up, what up? One of my favorite songs by him is Regrets. And sometimes, unfortunately, we have to live with them. It's a sad truth. There's nothing that we can say to be better, but we could strive to be better moving forward.
Yes.
And you moving forward brings me to MVORE in your podcasting.
Ooh.
So I want to know, and I know Ralph agreed to be on this show. We're having trouble formulating a date that works for him.
He's busy,
Yeah,
man. He's busy. It
I
just
threw a
so
date.
happened to work out that you got this date for me because I'm like, oh, I'm having all this stuff that leads up to my event, so it just works out. But trust me, it's one of those things. It has to work out on its
Well,
own. Otherwise, it's not going to
I
work out.
said to him, I said, listen, you pick any day of the week. It could be Monday, it could be Thursday, it could be Friday, whatever day you're available. We will do the show. That week I will make a special edition day if I have to, because you need to be on this show. You and I have to talk. I will, but I want to know, how did MVORE? Well, actually, for those in the audience who don't know, tell them, and you got to say it loud and proud in case Ralph watches this back.
Of course,
You
of
got to
course.
tell them what MVORE stands for.
MVORE, MVORE, motivated, versatile, original, real, and extraordinary. That's MVORE. It's pronounced MVORE, not MVORE,
Yo,
not
remember
MVORE. It's MVORE.
during
MVORE.
during MVORE week when VVC said, "I want to thank MVORE," and Ralph was like,
Cut.
edit that,
Start again.
do it again."
Cause ain't no MVORE.
he, he,
Ain't no MVORE.
he
We've
was
been
mad
around
as
for
hell though.
5 years. Ain't no MVORE. What is the MVORE?
I was like, "Yo," I'm like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh man." So I want to know how how it started. Like, what was the like how did it start? MVORE itself.
Um, I'll give you what I can give you from my side of things. I think the story is best told by Ralph because it came to him.
I
Um, there.
I I told you. So all right, so let's transition that then.
Okay.
So then if you can give your side of that, and then tell me how you became a part of MVORE.
Okay, so Mavor started like great things do when you just chilling with a bunch of creatives and something just comes to you. That's pretty much the gist of how Mavor came to be. Before I was involved, I've always been involved with Ralph. Like I was saying
Mm-hmm.
earlier, like me and Ralph used to record music in my living room with a microphone with a sock on it. Like we used to write songs and record them the same day. We used to live on a strict diet of waffles, okay? Because that's all we had to eat, and that's all that was quick enough for us to eat, so we can get back to recording. Like
Throw
we
'em
used to
in the toaster.
record.
Keep it moving.
Listen, no, I'm talking homemade waffles. All we had
Oh,
was a box of pancake mix, and somebody gave me a waffle iron.
oh,
And I said, well, he said, well, what's something quick we could throw together? I'm like, I got some pancake mix. We can make some waffles. And we ate waffles for like the whole summer just because it was something that we could do real quick while we recorded and mixed and all that other stuff.
yeah.
And because it was, it was a hood favorite because it was cheap. And when we ran out of pancake mix, one day he came to record, and the first thing he did was pull out the box of pancake mix out of his book bag. I was like, all
Ready
right,
to
we're
go.
making perfect. We're
Ready to
making more
go.
waffles. But yes, that's how I came to be because I've always been involved with Ralph musically. There was a long time that I wasn't. I would just go to the shows and I loved going to the shows. I love seeing Ralph perform. Like I've always thought, even when we were kids, because we used to sing Destiny's Child and all the things. I'm like, Ralph is Beyonce. He is Newberg Beyonce because he has, and not because of, not in the way that people think, but like he has that quality, that talent, that ability. He's Beyonce. Yeah, for sure. He's Beyonce. I'll always say he's Newberg Beyonce. So being his friend and being in close proximity of him, me and him didn't start working together until Don't even get me lying. Somewhere in the mid 2000s, that's what I could call it. In the mid 2000s, after I was like technically an adult because I was 18, but not like really grown. So yeah, me and Ralph have been working together for a really long time. Just about my whole life, we've been working together, and he encourages me and motivates me to do all the things, even when I don't want to do them. And that's just the way that it rolls. Like we got work to do, kind of thing. Like there was a day he came over and I didn't feel like it anymore. Like I just didn't feel like recording nothing, and I wanted to see how long I could go without doing it before Ralph saw what was up. It didn't take long. Um, he has a very good way of making sure that fire stays lit up under you. We got work to do. We got to get it done. We got to find a way, and that's what's helpful. You got to find a way to do it, even when you don't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
You got to find a way to still perform or still put it out with the energy it deserves, even when you don't want to. So I learned that with him as well. Like I'm like, yeah, I just don't feel like it today, and he's like, well, still got to do it. So how we gonna do it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you have to really keep the stride going. You have to keep the fire ignited and you have to keep that energy there. Even when you don't have it. I think people these days have how people these days they don't know how to keep the ball moving, keep the energy going, keep the blood pumping, keep that fire inside of them that pushes them to where they want to be. um and it's hard, but obviously he's able to do that
right.
with what he is. And I think you answered this by your last statement, but I'm going to ask it. What does Ralph mean to you?
Ralph is my brother. He's one of my best friends. Um, I can't even say when he gets on my nerves because I feel like we've been through that season of our lives already when we were younger. But in my adult years, he doesn't really get on my nerves that much as we're older.
Right.
Because now I'm like, I know what's expected of me, and it was me being lazy. So, um, he he's everything to me. He's amazing. He's a dope personality. He's for me to be the Gemini, and I feel like he's more of a Gemini than me, even though he's not. Like he has all these like personality traits because he's so many different people at so many different times. So like he's a businessman, he's a visionary, he's a creative, he's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a artist, he's a musician. He doesn't do poetry, but every once in a while he'll throw out some poetry. Or if we're all chilling on the porch, drinking and having a good night, we might try to freestyle. Like it could be anything because that's just what happens. But to me, Ralph is everything, and I'll say this to the day I die. It's an honor to be connected to him, and not just in the ways that it benefits, and not in the ways that all the rest of the internet be trying to be connected to him. I mean, like it's an honor to be connected to him, to learn the things that I've learned from him, to be teaching each other things, to show each other things, to share ideas, to hold space. Like to share space with him. That's what I mean by it's an honor to be connected to him. Not for gain, not for social media clout, not to just say I know him, but because of the work that we've done as a collective. Me, him, and Jazz. When we get together, the three of us get a lot of stuff done, and yeah, our trio means a lot to me.
I can feel that, and I can see with that. I think you've pretty much answered this, but what is it like working together? And what I mean is, I guess I should to get a little more insight is when you're in that creative space, like the feeling and when you know it's going good and you got something real good, like what's that feeling like when you're working together and you're seeing success because now you guys are becoming a commodity of the community.
Mm,
Because I got I got written here Mavor Week, Mavor Cares,
yeah,
and so what I'm saying is obviously, like I said, that friendship is what built this, right? Which helped
right.
build it because it's not it's work, but it's not work in a sense because you enjoy
Yeah.
doing it. I mean, yeah, you're putting in a lot of time and a lot of energy, and even you said last night on the other show, you need reset days.
Yeah.
You know, you knew you need reset days. So what's it like when you're in there and you got that fire burning and y'all are all like a well-oiled machine?
Ah, it's unmatched. I don't have words for it exactly. When we're in our zone, when we're in our groove, when we're in our mode, I feel like, to be honest, you guys get to see it more than we experience it. That, from my perspective, when you see us perform, that's when it's at the height. Like in the room, creating is dope and it's phenomenal.
Hmm.
But sometimes we're not there. Sometimes we're not even all on the same page creatively. Sometimes we can't figure it out and we got to leave and come back to it.
Happens
Sometimes
like
it
that.
takes a month, sometimes it takes a day. Sometimes it's like, oh, the next day something comes to you. Sometimes the ideas are there, but the talent, the skill isn't there. So like sometimes the idea is there for me to sing something and then my voice isn't there and I'm like, crap. So we got to figure out how to navigate this. So in the creative room, for the most part, we get together more with things that are either almost finished or finished already. But when it's
Okay.
still an idea, we still have the space to figure it out on our own before we come together. And then, to me, I what I love most, especially with Ralph and Jazz, is I've been singing with them for years and I'm still impressed by them. And I don't know if they know that, like, they still impress me so much. And I know that's not their intention. But when I hear the track playback, hey, like Ralph will be like, hey, do you want to hear what me and Jazz put together in the studio last week? Or
Hmm.
hey, do you want to hear something I'm working on? And I'm so infatuated and drawn in and impressed by them still. Like, and that's what makes me feel like I do a little something, you know? And they have to
Yeah.
tell me all the time, you're a part of this too. I'm like, I know, but I'm still in awe of you guys still. Like,
You
sometimes
feel.
Ralph does stuff, and when I make a face, that's not me practicing our react. Sometimes I'll be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like he can hit a note. Jazz will do a run, and she has this different. I've heard her voice evolve, so her voice has so much more soul in it now,
Hmm.
from when we were younger to now. So to hear them do what they do, and then I'm like, wait, I forget. In those moments, I'm a fan. In
Yeah.
those moments, those
Yeah.
aren't my best friend, my brother and sister. Those aren't my business partners. Those are Ralph and Jazz MVORE, and I'm not proud of them. I am in awe of them. Like, I
Yes.
am impressed by what they're
Yes.
doing, and I am totally fanned out. That's happened to me before during performances where they, like, thank God for rehearsals, but they've had to be like, Niecy, it's your part. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you
You
just
just,
did
you
that,
just,
and
you just like,
I'm
like,
stuck now.
like you get that Rick Ross, ugh, like, like yeah, like, oh,
Exactly,
like,
it just gets
and
when your
then,
face be all like, whoop, whoop,
and then you
whoop.
like, and then you got to do it again.
Mm.
Well, and that brings me to my favorite Mavor song, "Family Is Forever."
Family.
I mean that song. That song is really deep rooted, and it's really one that hits because when you look at everything people have how we as people have evolved, and how we as people don't don't necessarily like the family we have, and we go out and create one. This song is an embodiment of that. I mean, just the way, and I think it's kind of like the way the three of you together have. It's kind of like, I would say like this, and it's this is a strange analogy, but I think it'll make
Okay.
sense. You know the way Jada Kiss and Styles P bounce off one another.
Yes.
That's the way the three of you do it, the same way, in an R&B fashion. And I think that that song is just the culmination of, it's got a little soul, it's got an energy, it's got a nice little woo kind of moment. It's got all of that. Devo wants to know where he can find all the music. I have it on Apple Music. I'm not sure where else it could be located.
It's everywhere. The only thing is we're currently working on some particulars with our album. So you might not be able to find it on Spotify or certain apps. But again, we're working on a small hiccup with the album, which is why it's not all our singles aren't out because we're working on the album. So we will let you know as soon as we're able to give you an answer. Um, some things, some wheels are in motion, some things are in motion, and we're trying to get it together as quickly and remedy the situation as quickly as we can. But at the moment, wherever you currently have it is where it is. If you can't find it, it's only because of the particular issue we're working out with the album. So stay tuned, please. We thank y'all for being patient. Please continue to be patient as we work, because it's frustrating to us too. Like when we did our album preview party, that was supposed to be something that the album came out right after, and then we experienced some issues, and we're working on those issues to get this corrected. Because the people say they need the music. Our album is called Mind Medicine. Okay, it. I've
Yes.
heard someone say that the album brought them peace during a week where they needed peace, and I'm talking. This was 2 weeks ago. So, and it was one of the mores, of course, because we've done music. We have our little studio takes and different sound bites from there. But like we know that y'all need it, and we need it too. So we're working on it very diligently, very hard to make sure that it gets put out.
And let me tell you, as someone who was at that listening party, shit, they were doing it up. I mean, you can tell the craft is in that those songs. And look, even with that, you just answered two more questions without me even having to ask them. See, you can tell you've been doing this all week.
Been doing this a long time.
You know, so now, so we're looking forward to that. I'm sure. Hopefully, you'll have a tentative date or a date at some point in time. We will all be looking for that. Listen to the Mavor music. It's amazing stuff. Amazing, amazing, amazing minds, amazing people, amazing embodiment. So now I
Thank
got,
you.
hmm, hmm. I want before I get into melanin magic, I want to talk about Mavor Week. And as the person who was able to do a lot of the media coverage with the photos last year, that was a phenomenal experience.
Oh yeah, it was intense.
Um, you know, and I said to Ralph, I said, "How do you get this?" And he's like, "I just wanted to do something amazing." He just wanted to do something amazing, and and you were, Ralph was being pulled everywhere, but you were the glue because you were doing all the things Ralph couldn't do or Ralph wasn't available to do. So I want to know how stressful is Mavor week, and but it was stressful, but it was very successful. Stressful but successful, and
That's usually how it goes.
and what can we look forward to for this year's Mavor week without giving away too much?
Okay, I can give you the date. It is the last 5 days of July, which I believe is the
26th,
26th to 31st, or the
31st.
25th to the 30th, I believe. We have a save the date out there already. But Mavor Week, Mavor Week is stressful in the sense of there's a lot to do. Um, and planning it takes an entire year. And I don't mean that lightly. Like every year we start talking, like right after last year was the first year we did it, but we were already talking about it for a year before we did it.
Okay.
And Now that it's done, we already knew back in like November that we'd be doing it again in July. And the planning has been happening since then. Um, and now that we're like 4 months away, it's like, okay, now it's just about the next phase of planning, making sure that our venues are secure, making sure our events are secure, making sure some things are getting taken care of. So Mavor Week is stressful in the sense of there's a lot of work to do, but
You too,
I,
Jag.
hey Jag, I think it's always worth it for the finished product, and when people show up, that's what matters. Like, yeah, making money is cool, but for us, it's about it's about not being in the red and not being in the red trying to put on something good. Like, we want to put on something good for our community, but not at the expense of us going into debt to do it.
Right.
And um having fun doing all the things, like all the events being successful, making sure that each event isn't just Mavores at the event. And I feel like for our first year last year, it was crazy. I didn't expect the level of people that showed up to show up. I expected it to be successful. I just didn't expect, I could have never even planned for that. Like, I was just like, whoa. So I feel like we're going to take it up a notch this year.
Okay.
And that's all I can give you, because that's
That's
all I
fine.
got.
That,
'Cause even
listen,
I
listen,
don't know.
listen.
Even I don't know all the things that are coming, but I can say that Mavor Week is we're gonna step it up a notch.
I,
And
like I
I
said,
would
I
not
know some.
want to be a person that don't come. That's all I'm gonna say.
Unfortunately, I won't have as much free time this year as I
I
did last year,
understand.
but you best believe I'm gonna be up in there. I'm gonna be
I,
up in there at some point in time.
I know you will.
So actually, one other thing, I really appreciate Mavor Cares.
Yes.
Um, I think that's the most beautiful thing that anyone can do. What like what's the preparation like for that, and like just the whole process, and what made the Mavors decide to start this beautiful program that you guys do for the community.
Um, I want to say around the time, but right around or before COVID. Um, Ralph again is always making connections with people. So we had this connection with people who were doing these like micro farms and community gardens that would donate fruits and vegetables to us, mostly vegetables. And at the time, I remember Ralph saying he wanted to do something for the community. So me and him are bouncing ideas back and forth. And I'm like, I, I don't even know if this sounds corny, but we could just call it Before It Cares, like, because people need to know that we care. Like that, just let's just call it that. And again, I don't know who came up with what, but I remember that being the conversation. And Ralph came up with a logo, and we came up with some stuff. And for the first couple months, it was like, all right, let's pick a day we're going to do and keep it that day for every month. And the first couple months, I would do some of the cooking. Ralph would do some of the cooking. We got his grandmother involved and some of his family members involved, and they really loved it. And then Mavor got busy doing other stuff. And I remember we wanted to just cancel for the 1 month. And Gigi Mavor, which is Ralph's grandmother, was
Mm-hmm.
like, we could just do it without y'all. And he was like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, we got it. Like, y'all take care of what y'all got to take care of, and we'll take care of Mavor Cares. And then it broke off into like a subsidiary to be like, okay, this is still part of Mavor, but now we got different people in Mavor doing
Right.
different stuff. So everybody has their set stuff. So that's been going on, I want to say, for the last 3 or 4 years. No, actually, probably the last 5. I don't remember. To me, don't quote me on it, but it's been going on for a number of years, and they haven't
Yeah.
missed a month. They
Okay.
haven't missed a month. We were getting sponsors at one point, and then at some point it stopped. And Gigi didn't let that deter her at all. She's like, "We're not getting donations. We're not getting this. I'll still cook."
Yeah.
And now that's a well-oiled machine that operates without us, because my my faith in my church, I do stuff on Sundays now too. So now I can no longer do the stuff with More Cares because my schedule's
Yeah.
really tight.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel good to know that that's something I can still speak on with confidence, even though I'm not directly involved anymore. Like
Absolutely.
Mavor Cares is our community service project that is it's a gift. It really is a gift. And shout out to the whole Mavor Cares team, because rain, shine, or snow, rain, sleet, shine, snow, all the elements, they're still gonna do it the first Sunday of every single month. They make sure that there are warm meals for the homeless. So you and it's not even a set place. They find the people. We don't just say, "Hey, we're going to be on this corner on this Sunday." They make the food, they prep the food, they package the food, and then they bring it to where the people are.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad to even say I was a part of it for the short time that I was a part of it. But shout out to Gigi Mavor, to Aunt Yanni, to all the Mavor Cares team. They do an amazing job making sure that still goes on with or without us.
It's beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I do. I love it. I just love to see it. Like I said, you guys are now a pillar of the community. You know, when I think, see, when I think about Newburgh, I think about you guys, like for sure, because you people, some people say it, and y'all actually go out and do it. So,
Thank you.
of course. So now, for y'all who don't know, for Black History Month, Mavor family put together one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Melanin Magic. It was a nice 20, like what, roughly 23, 25 minute excerpt of just showing some of music's biggest names from back before we was born, and I just got to say, shout out to everyone who took part in that, because just the embodiment. I felt like you all took those artists' spirits and made it your own, and I mean it was just beautiful to see. So what was it like? Like what where did the idea come from, and just how was the recording process? Because I heard you say yesterday y'all decided to do this on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, this is the thing. We scheduled it out not knowing that fact, not knowing that it was going to be Super Bowl Sunday. And when we do what we do, without giving y'all too much information, like our music video, we recorded that in 2 hours, both
Okay.
both of them. And I give that the props to Ralph for that, because when we have the concept what we're doing and we have a focus, Ralph is in a sense we don't have to take all day to do something we know we're going to do. And it just reminded me so much of what my pastor used to say, like it don't take God all day to work. And it really don't. Like we've putting together the level of professionalism that comes in the projects that we do, and being able to do some of them. I can't say all of them, but some of them we're able to do in a short time frame. We plan them out to be, it has to be less than a certain number of hours, so that we're not spending the whole day doing something that ends up being a 30-minute video.
Right.
um our previous Melanin Magic videos were virtual, and they used to be an hour long. This one we wanted to do, take you on a trip back to the Cotton Club. So it was more of a cafe kind of feel. So it was a surprise to all of us that it was a lot. It was like 30 minutes long, but it was still really dope because we got to do some acting. We got to do some personas, but then still make it our own. So Melanin Magic is a definitely it's one of those contenders that has to happen every year, because you
Absolutely.
need to know Black history. And this year I was glad that the focus was music, but usually Melanin Magic is everything. It's music, it's dance, it's poetry, it's facts. Um for 2 of the years we had Mayor Harvey give us speeches on Black
Beautiful.
excellence and Black history. And it's all the things. So this year being able to just concentrate on the music was a nice welcome change to Melanin Magic.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. It was phenomenal. It was great to see. But now I want to slide over to tomorrow's event.
Yes,
I know you've been waiting for it.
I
You know,
have.
before we break into your podcasting here. What is what to give everyone a little idea of what Poetry After Dark is about? Who are the co-hosts or the co-talents who will be performing with you, and maybe what they can expect to hear or see
I can't. I
without
can't.
giving
I can't
away
give
too
you.
much, of
No,
course.
it's not even a nugget. I when I tell you, I'm not being modest when I say I don't know what's going to happen. I'm saying that in a sense, and I'm not even saying that to entice you to come, even though you should be enticed. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know it's going to be dope. Like the headliners are myself, Raya Speaks, and
Yeah, there
Edna
she is.
Obwaje. We listen. We're going by Godiva tomorrow. Okay, you can just call us Godiva tomorrow. The Godiva trio, because honey, all the chocolate that's gonna be in there. Okay, it's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be raunchy. Maybe I can speak. I'm gonna speak for myself and say it's gonna be a little. It's gonna be a little lots, okay? But I feel like it's gonna be so worth it. I feel like it's gonna be such a good experience and it's gonna be such a good vibe. I already feel like the energy is set there, and I don't care what obstacles come between today and that show tomorrow. I already know the vibe is set. The vibe is set. No matter what happens, the vibe is already set. I'm claiming it. And what they can expect is a dope event. Not only are there going to be the three of us, but there's going to be GM. He is our guest musical performer. There's going to be some other stuff.
Okay, okay,
And I'm gonna leave
okay.
it at that because you just should come. You gotta come and experience it for yourself because words. I know that we're gonna be putting a lot of words in performance, but words really don't do it justice. You have to be there and experience it yourself. The clips you're gonna see after, you're gonna be mad at yourself that you didn't go. And what you should do if you haven't already bought a ticket, is buy a ticket. It costs $20. Now the show is late. It is a 10 p.m. show. But we giving y'all enough notice so y'all can take a nap before y'all go. Cause I know I already know whatever needs to be done by me has to be done by 6 o'clock. So I could take a nap and then get myself ready for the show.
Um,
So I already know I need a nap. And I already know it's gonna be honey. Just the outfits that I'm putting on.
oh,
Okay?
oh
And the
gosh.
outfit that the girls honey, we're putting it together. It's gonna be something. So if you haven't already bought your tickets, Poetry After Dark is gonna be a night of not just erotic but uncensored and explicit lyric content. That's what I like to call it. Like a lot of the times when you hear Poetry After Dark, I know everybody wants it to go sexy all the way, and that is true. It's gonna be that, but also it's gonna be some real shit too. Like it's gonna be you gonna be like, oh, I didn't expect to hear that because a lot of the times everywhere I perform, I write my poetry to sound like real shit without curse words too. This event, I ain't got to censor myself, so I want to say some real shit, and I'm going to. So, yeah, buy them tickets, $20. That's it. If you can't make it, and you know somebody else that might want to go, help sponsor them a ticket. I feel like $20 isn't unreasonable, and where can you go for $20 nowadays?
You know, and have a good time. You know.
Hello,
Like, definitely. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but if I can't, so one of y'all, someone has to make it out there. I've heard all three of them speak at one point or another. Powerful, powerful stuff. And it's definitely gonna be a dope vibe. I feel it because you, Edna. I don't know what's Rhea Raya.
Mariah. Yeah,
I don't
Raya.
know her very well. I've heard her speak, but you and Edna, I know you guys pretty well. There's power in that, and
Wait till you hear Raya, okay?
oh, I've heard her. I've
No,
heard her.
you.
I just don't know her like that. You know what I mean? So so she
If you think that me and Edna or something,
Oh,
Oh my God.
she's a statement, huh?
She is, she's the whole sentence, honey.
Oh,
Like, she's the
the,
paragraph.
the whole
The
the
girl,
paragraph.
the girl got skills. Like, when I tell you these ladies make me step my game up, there was a point where I performed with Edna and Tierra. And I just thought, me being me, like, I love a good, healthy competition, especially with girls who aren't really competing with you in a mean girl way. And when we were going through some of the stuff, I was like, damn, I got to step it up. And I love being motivated that way. Not in a like, I need to be better than her kind of way. It was like, damn, she said something that was really deep. You're going to make me dig deeper to make sure
Pull it
that,
out of you.
yes, they encourage and motivate me to dig into the deepest parts of my soul to deliver that message, because I can't have them out here spitting like the hottest of hot and then I'm out here lukewarm. Like, that makes us look bad. So
Nah,
I ain't trying to make them look bad. I gotta step it up.
you
So
gotta, it's kind of like the Lil Wayne analogy, right? Like, on Drink Champs, Nori said to him, "Now they say Eminem bodied people. I never heard them say that about you." And he goes, "Nah." He goes, "We gonna be right here." He's like, "You ain't gonna be up here, and I'm gonna be down here. We gonna be right here, make a nice, beautiful song, and that's what's gonna be." So you want to be on the same level as
yes,
who you're up there with.
yes, absolutely. Those,
Every
they're gonna make me step it up. As a matter of fact, all my pieces have been done already, but before tomorrow, I'm gonna look them over one more time to see if I could throw in some wordsmithery and get it out there and sound the dopest I can get it to sound.
You got
Oh yeah.
to. What up, J Sierra? And
JC.
it's actually the perfect time she's coming in because I left something out of my original thing, and that's discussion gangsters.
Yeah.
I love. I don't know how. I just kind of got into a flow, and then
Hey,
I just
we
wrote.
honest over here in the honest hour.
I left it out. And but we're gonna talk about it because it is an important piece of who you are. I want
Absolutely.
now. We over here. We doing it. We glad to see you in the room again. So Danielle explains it to me. Everyone knows she was on the show last week.
Yes.
Her and I have a very good close relationship as you and her do. And she explains it to me that the way it came about was you always watched the show,
Yes.
and then you came on as a guest during one of the seasons, and then
The entire season, it felt like.
so and then she said that the audience took a liking to you, and she asked you to be a permanent host.
Yeah.
You sound like
No, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Danielle took me through it, honey. Okay, like, took me through it. When the show first came out, I first loved Discussion Gang, the group, in the first place, because at the time that she was talking about the transition from the old group to her own group, it was so refreshing because the old group was so childish and petty and a lot of group think, and that pissed me off so bad. Like, I'm like, bro, like, I don't think like y'all, and now 13 of y'all jumping in the comments to tell me that I'm wrong for not thinking like y'all bugging. And here I am, the Christian with the stereotype that we push Jesus on people, but if I don't think the way y'all think, y'all jumping on me, and I'm like, but I'm the Christian here, but okay.
what up,
um
Nicole?
but was it was me watching the when the show came out. It was out on Friday nights during COVID, and that time nobody was going outside. But then once everybody started going outside, me and my sister Dottie, like, we made it our Friday night show. Like, it was a ritual for us. Every
Right.
Friday, I would put it on my phone and cast it to the TV, and we'd be sitting there eating snacks and watching the pod. It was so much fun. And then I was like, dang, well, now that the world is really open up again, we can't spend our Friday nights in the house watching TV. So I'll just watch the show another day. Then they changed it to another day. But I watched the show every week faithfully. Even I'm talking like days I wasn't even home. I would watch it on my phone in my car. Like love the show, and I was always available to guest host. And I felt like I guest hosted so fucking long. It made me feel like, bro, you want me here or not? Like, I remember having lots of conversations with Danielle and like, but not being like pushy because I'm like, I want her to ask me to be on the show because she wants me on the show, not because I'm like eager about it. And it was so many weeks where she would hit me with the, hey, can we chat for a second? I'm like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? And it wasn't it. It was never it. That's why I said, yo, I wanted to beat Danielle ass at one point because I'm like, bro, get my like I was excited every week. I was like, yeah, is this it? And I said, Dottie, I don't think she ever gonna ask me to be on a show. Like, I just feel like, why am I even
I was so
here?
sad too.
Like I am because I'm here every week. Every week, like clockwork, I'm on time. I'm engaging. I'm fun. Like she knows she want me on the show. Like why she acting like
Wow.
she don't like it here? And then one day she hit me with the have a seat, and I thought that
Oh,
maybe I
yep.
said something wrong.
You know once you even know she most times when she hits you with the have a seat, something that's not good is about to come out.
I know. I said, "Oh shit, what I done said now in the group," and then that was the time she asked me to be on the show. I was like, "Finally, and it's happened." Me, right? Like, bruh,
So
I'm out here like feeling like Will Smith. Like, why he don't want me, man? Like, why
yeah.
she don't want me?
s-
Like,
Sidebar, when she hits you with the have a seat, and most of our texts be on Snap. So she knows I opened it and I'll be like, damn, I don't know what she about to say. But
mine is on
now
Facebook Messenger. Okay, it ain't better.
it dimes you out, and we're in this age where we don't use like phone numbers. Like I have her phone number,
Me too.
but I think I've used it twice. So
Me
like
too.
so I'm like, damn, I really wish she'd send this in a generic text because then she won't know I read it because she has an Android and I
That
have an iPhone.
that's kind of the point. I also have an Android, and I can see Android to Android if you've read the message too. But I am the same way. And she's also like borderline Gemini, but she's a Cancer. She's very much the same way where like, I got to send it on Messenger so I can see that you saw it. And I'm like, shit. And I love to do that to the dudes that I date, but I hate it with everybody else. So like, everybody else, I'm like, I love to preview the message. I'll swipe down the screen real quick and be like, nope, don't got time to answer that. But for the most part, she'll catch me. She'll catch me slipping, and I'm like, damn, ain't nobody else read it yet? Like in the group chat. Oh my god! Like, see, even JCR said she had to text her because Meta was down. Like, bruh,
Yo,
I was asleep when that happened.
how
I'm kind
many
of glad I missed that.
like how many different ways
I
she got to be
have her
contacted?
phone number too. She was my neighbor, Mike.
Oh,
She lived within walking distance of my apartment, and I still didn't use her phone number. I still wrote her on Facebook Messenger. Hey, I'm coming around the corner right now. Hey, I'm outside at the door. Like, bruh, it's about the
and
convenience of
and
Messenger.
I feel like Messenger's more steps. like like it's just more of a process. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Oh man. Okay, so she asked you to be on the show.
Yes,
And
finally.
you've been on the show how long now?
Forever it feel like it, Cardi B voice like it feel like I've been on there forever. I feel like I've been an official host for maybe 2 seasons, maybe a season and a half. I don't know, but all I know is she better not ever. You know what? She better not ever put me through that again because I'm why I'm out here pressed. I'm out here pressed.
Yeah,
I ain't never going through that again. But I will say the show is a big part of my life,
of course.
especially during that time where she got stuck overseas and I had to run the damn show. I thought because I run my own podcast that this would be easy, but no, it wasn't.
Oh,
It wasn't easy at all. I
not
w-
not with all the extra stuff that she does. I
yes,
like
like
that
I
that
know the extra stuff, but I don't have to do the extra stuff.
right. she's the one. She's got the whole thing going and
And people
left and right.
have to
Like,
set up where it really is simple. It's set up really simple. It's just a lot of stuff, a lot of steps. So I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing it.
yeah.
So what happens when Niecy runs the show? I do the opening song and the closing song, and make sure that our podcast doesn't get ended too early. That was all I was. Those are the three things I got out of the list of instructions she gave me. She gave me a list of instructions. I was like, all right, so make sure I play the opening song, the closing song, and don't accidentally end live in the middle of the show. Got it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. She was like, I said all that, and that's all you heard. Yep, that's all I heard. And if I do those three things, I feel like I'm successful.
And did she complain about it at all?
She did not, but
Okay.
she did tell me
So
a few times, Niecy, you forgot to I forget. It was a bunch of stuff I forgot to do. I'm like, girl, the show ran, didn't it? Like I tried. I
like
tried.
like you listen, beggars can't be choosers. You gotta know that this is the show. This is how it's going. This is what it's gonna be. Well, you
And
know that's
I'm not a good wrangler, okay? Like I know how to reel people back in on my show because it's me and one other person. But Danielle and how she has to wrangle the three of us, child, I can't do that. And we were already a man down. I did not know how to wrangle B Bond and J Sierra. Like, bruh, I want to be running around with the kids. That's what it felt like. I felt like Danielle was the adult that put me in charge of the other kids, and I want to be outside running around with them. But you got me out here being responsible, and I
you
don't
got
want to do
me. You gotta be got me here being responsible, and you got always late B bond
that.
and
You were never gonna cut him some slack in that one.
no, I don't care that we got the same birthday. Always late.
That is why I'm always gonna remember his birthday because y'all have the same birthday.
Yeah, and then like it was like a secret for a while. Danielle was saying like he wouldn't tell it, and then like she made a TikTok that, and it was both our birthdays. I'm like, see, I knew I liked you for some reason.
I don't know
I knew it.
why I felt like it was already in there, but then again, I don't know. I be paying attention to stuff. I had to interview him when he first came on our show. So I feel like I know a lot more fun facts about him than I want to know. But then people make it seem like I just am an expert on Bebop, and I'm not. Like I just remember a lot of stuff facts wise, even though I'm forgetful as hell. It's weird. It's a very slippery slope for me. I either remember everything or nothing. There is no in
There's
between.
no in between.
There is no in between. I remember everything or nothing. And I remember at one point when he was on the show, we were arguing about whether he had a daughter or a son, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" And it was his brother because I had to interview the both of
Yeah,
them for their pod. It was having all those wires crossed. It's just all this stuff with people.
it
So yeah,
it it's not easy,
it's not. It's not.
but from discussion gang down now, I remember this wraps a little bit back to Ralph. Is ladies vibes.
Yes,
You explained it to me that it was, with Ralph, an idea, and I've said it too to people. It's an idea on Monday. It's something by Wednesday.
absolutely.
So on paper, by the latest Tuesday, it's an idea Wednesday, and
Mhm.
by Thursday, it's in the works. Like,
Yes, that's
so
exactly how it happened.
so how now? I remember watching you and Ty on Urban Updates a while ago, and
Yes.
I remember you guys saying that it started like it was Ralph's idea, and then I also remember you saying that you and Ty weren't really close friends.
We weren't. That is the funniest thing to a lot of people because I always knew Ty and Ty always knew me. We were always the people in the background, like working behind the scenes on stuff. Like, or if I was singing backup, Ty would be the person that shows up to set up the event. So I knew her and she was always cool with Jazz and a few and with Ralph. But I'm like, Ty was always cool. She would invite me to her birthday. And I'm like, I don't even know her like that, but she
Yep.
invited me to her birthday. That's kind of nice. Like she
Yeah.
was cool. And when the idea came about, and Ralph told me about it. I was like, this sounds like fun. And then he asked me what I was doing on a random day, and I was like, nothing. He was all right, meet me over here at 3 o'clock. And then I get there, and then Ty's there, and Jazz is there. And I'm like, what are we about to do? He was like, we're gonna shoot some promo. And I was like, okay. So then he's like, I'm gonna ask you questions. You're not gonna know what the questions are in advance, and we're gonna go from there. And I'm like, okay. And we just did like what I felt like was a screen test for an idea about a show. I didn't expect it to actually be our show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it ended up on screen. We just Ralph saw something that we didn't know was there, the chemistry. And we balanced each other out very well. And he told me every week that we did the show, he said, talk like you guys are old friends always. And I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be hard to do because I don't know her like that and she doesn't know me like that. But a friendship developed over time because we were always the people that was the first to show up to events and the last ones to leave.
Yeah.
So unbeknownst to us, we put together this friendship, and now she's one of my dearest friends, and I love her so deeply. Like you have no idea. This girl, she got my back, and I got her back, and that's my girl. That's my girl. Ty is my girl. Okay, like she's like 10 toes. She's down for you like four flat
That's
tires.
it.
Okay, if she got you, if she say she got you, she really got you. And in levels of support, she supports everybody. She's like you in that way. Like she supports everybody. It don't matter if she worked a 12-hour shift. She'll come straight from her job to come to a MVORE event
And
because
and
she wants to support.
she got 5 kids.
And she got 5 kids.
And I think I know ladies vibes is supposed to be for ladies,
Yes,
but damn it, I'll be watching.
I'm glad.
Because I can't remember. I wrote it down. I couldn't find it, but there was something that you said in one of your episodes, and I remember messaging you and saying, "Man, this show needs to be people's vibes." Because the things that you guys say, I know it's supposed to be directed towards women, but I feel like it's something that men can take away from too, which
Yes,
is why I want to wrap back to Mavora Week real quick when you did the live episode of
yes.
of Ladies Vibes and you brought Daria in and what was the other woman's name? I can't remember.
Lizette.
Lizette. There was some deep, meaningful stuff in there,
Yeah.
and I want to know, like, was it always the meaning of the show always supposed to be directed towards women, or was there some ideas tossed around of what you were going to do with this podcast?
Um, it was always meant to be a ladies show. Um, he told me like when we were doing our like studying and researching, he was like, think of the View, think of the Real, think of like different podcast, like, and then on YouTube, like watch certain podcasts. He's like, this is the vibe that I'm going for, and then it just became ladies vibes, like. And he's like, all right, now we got to practice our opening and what we say, and we need a slogan. Like all the overnight, we became. It started out as what we called a show, and it was supposed to be like a talk show kind of thing. But then podcasting became a thing, so then we went the podcast route, and it's been dope for us. We are working on some general stuff under our umbrella that will embody everybody. I won't get too much into what that is, but you'll see soon. We are working on some stuff for the fellas. We are working on some stuff for the teens. And just stay tuned. We got some stuff coming out. I'm excited. It's actually coming out this summer.
Okay.
We're working on some new merch. It's gonna be dope. But ladies vibes is still gonna be what it's supposed to be, but we make it very clear that we talk about issues that we know affect us and other women. But we don't take it easy on the ladies. We like, ladies, don't talk to your men like like, and brothers like, and we talk to both sets. So for us it's like we're giving relationship advice from a woman's perspective, but it's our audience isn't just women. But
You
it
know,
originally was intended to be that way.
yeah, no, it's definitely because my sports show was Tuesdays, and now it's Mondays.
Yeah.
So now if you keep it Tuesdays, I'll be able to,
We
you
are. We don't
you
have a
know,
choice. Our schedules are so tight. that
Yeah,
every time discussion gang wants to change our day, we end up right back on Wednesday. Every time ladies vibes wants to change our day, we end up right back on Tuesday. Every time Avor wants to change our rehearsal days, we end up right back between Monday and Thursday, and our shows are Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So it's like every day of the week I have something to do. So for the
yeah,
most part, all my stuff is planned accordingly, and because of discussion gang and Mavor having the relationship that they have, the entire reason I'm able to do discussion gang is because it doesn't interfere with my schedule from Avor. So we were able to figure it out. And like literally when I came to discussion gang, I told Danielle like Mavor has to come first. And for the most part, I found a good balance between the two.
yeah,
And my schedule really doesn't conflict between the two.
yeah. No,
So
and
everything
it,
has to stay the way it is though. Otherwise, once we get wires crossed, then we gotta change times and child
yeah, and then your whole schedule has to be rearranged for
for
it.
one thing.
Yes. All right, we're almost to the end here.
All
You
right.
know, you know, the one thing I want to ask you about Ladies Vibes is what is the future you hope for the show? What do you hope to see it grow into?
Ooh.
And I'm sure you'd like to see Discussion Gang grow into
I
the same
I don't
kind of
even need to
thing.
have ideas for that. Danielle already has that under
But
control.
what I'm saying is, obviously you have an idea of, you if you're on something, the idea is to grow it to something, right?
Sure.
She said, sure.
Only because okay, let me put it this way.
Mhm.
Bavor is my family. Discussion gang is also my family. But neither one of those things are my baby. Let's
Okay.
put it that way. The things that are my baby are my poems and my songs.
Okay.
So I would like to put more energy into my babies and then spend some time with their kids. Let's put it that way. I want to be an
Okay.
auntie. I want to be an auntie on Mavor and an auntie discussion gang and have visitation with them, but put more energy into my own things. And Ralph definitely encouraged me to do that, and so does Danielle. That's why I say the future of discussion gang ain't even in my hands. If I even think that I have an idea, Danielle already thought of that last year. That's why I'm like, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have her at the helm because what I think as next steps, she's already two steps beyond that. So I don't even have to think about the future of discussion gang. I just got to do my part. I just got to do my part. When she needs me to show up, I need to be there. And when she needs me to contribute to that idea, if I think it's an idea worth contributing to, I'm going to do that. Ladies vibes, I do have a little bit more creative
Control.
pull over there. Yes, creative control. So what I would like to see ladies vibes turn into is just a better platform for other people. I would like to see some other young girls that we can encourage and motivate so that maybe one day ladies vibes will be theirs. But I do know that all good things come to an end. So I feel like when people think of things coming to an end, they think of it as a bad thing, and I don't. I just know that nothing good goes on forever. So at some point, I know that I won't be a part of either one or both or something. Something could happen in life
Right.
where, you know, maybe we're not doing the show anymore or whatever the case. But I know that all good things come to an end. And while they're still going good and still going, I'm there. And who knows what the future holds? I already know that discussion gang is already you don't there are so many things y'all don't already know that are in the works for discussion gang. That's why I said I ain't got no plans for discussion gang. Danielle got that under control. Like
You just tell me what you need me to know.
facts. It's we got a 2 year plan, a 5 year plan, a 10 year plan. Like, it's already it's already mapped out. With Mavor, it's a little bit more year by year that we're getting stuff done. So it's a little bit less. It's both extremes for me. So I would say the future of Ladies Vibes, I would love to pass the torch at some point because as much as I would love to be a 40 something year old podcaster that gives advice, I also don't feel like that's my only thing that I should be doing.
Right.
So if I could lend my energy or lend space of my talents and skills to another facet, I want to do that and see what else is out there. So
Absolutely. Well, and the other thing is, by the looks of this interview and how the looks of everything you got going on between the Mavor album, between the poetry, between the EP you're working on, between Discussion Gang, between Ladies Vibes, and between also still being a daughter, being a sister, being a friend, being everything that you are. You have a lot to offer. And it's like you said, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy.
Yes.
Yeah, Jack, she's doing a lot, you know. But the last segment I have is called My Positive Ending Message,
Oh,
which is where I just want you to say something positive. It could be in relation to this interview, could be in relation to anything, but I end on positivity, and then we'll close out the show.
okay. My positive ending message is if you have an idea, do it. Make the choice, experience that choice, and make a decision based off of the choice. I heard somebody else say that on like a clip that I heard this week. We a lot of times we don't do the thing we want to do out of fear, but not even just fear of the unknown, but fear of that you're making the wrong decision. It's not about making a decision. It's about making a choice, experiencing that choice, and then making an informed decision after you've experienced the choice. So if there's something you want to do, give yourself permission to do it. That's what my song is about. I have a song called Permission. I gave myself permission, and you should give yourself permission to do anything that you want to try, anything that you love that you don't think you can do.
Hmm.
Do it scared, but do it. Do the thing that you're most afraid to do. Make a choice. Experience that choice. Maybe make another choice. But either way, make your decisions based off of making those choices first.
Beautifully written, or said, I should say. Wow.
Thank you.
Where can tell everyone where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Golden Diamond One. You can find me on TikTok at Golden Diamond underscore one. You can find me anywhere you see Mavore Nation or Mavore Entertainment Arts. You can find me on Discussion Gang and Discussion Gangsters on IG and Facebook. Don't find my personal page on Facebook. I probably won't add you. I'm just weird like that. But anywhere you see Mavore, anywhere you see Golden Mavore, anywhere you see Golden Diamond, you can find me. And if you haven't already done it, tomorrow's show, Poetry After Dark, that will be at 10 p.m. on Blooming Grove Turnpike, Suite 201. You'll see the flyer on my page. $20 tickets. That's it, $20. If you can't go, sponsor somebody else to go. But we want you to be there because it's going to be a dope experience and it's going to be a dope event.
All right. Appreciate you, my
Thank
sister,
you. Thank
friend,
you.
for coming on. It was a great vibe. Thank you, Debo, for tuning in again. This is Niecy Golden Diamond MVORE.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Williams. I'll be back next week, next Thursday, right here, 8 p.m. on Instagram. My special guest will be the lovely Andromeda, or Bri- known as Brianna Cologne, local
Yeah.
R&B singer. She will definitely be on here to chop it up with me. We got a lot to discuss as well. Niecy, thank you. I love
Thank
you.
you. Love you.
I'll try and make it out tomorrow. Everyone have a good night, and I'll see you
Good
next week.
night. Thanks for having
Of
me.
course.